Thanks for watching Roland Digs It. I'm Roland, and I know it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Sorry, not gonna torture you with my singing. It has been a while. I'm not one of those YouTubers that tends to upload every day, every other week, every month sometimes, and I apologize for that. Well, you know what? I don't apologize. I don't want to be one of those people that comes out and starts talking about a watch. It's like, this is the watch that I like. It tells time. It has multiple time zones. I want it to be a little bit more informative and kind of silly in a way, where you can kind of watch it, be a little entertained, but yet go away with something in your noggin that feels like you might have learned something. That being said, we're going to go on a little learning journey today. But first, I want to thank all of you that have subscribed, and thank you for continuing to watch the videos. Thank you for sharing the videos. Hopefully, as I grow the channel and become more reliable about uploading, even though I have my full-time job that I have to worry about, hopefully the videos, start helping me grow the channel more. And again, thank you for sharing them. And my heart goes out to all of you folks out there. Thank you. And I appreciate all the comments, all the interaction. Now, to go back into some history and learn a little bit. Back in 1892, a dude named Ariste Calame, I'm probably butchering the hell out of that name, but Ariste Calame opened up a small watchmaking facility in 1882 in Le Loch, Switzerland. And it was a few years later when he and his son got together and decided to register the name Zodiac. Zodiac watches is what I'm talking about here. And if you're at all familiar, Zodiac, you've probably known that one of their watches, the Seawolf, was associated with a suspect in the Zodiac killer case. But he was exonerated of charges, and the Zodiac emblem was the calling signature of the Zodiac killer. Anyways, nothing to do with that. We're not talking about that today. Basically talking about one specific watch in their lineup that people tend to overlook. Now they think about the Seawolf. The Seawolf, which I'll picture right here, that was the one that came out in 1953. It was a truly dive purpose watch. 200 meters of water resistance, came out the same time as the Rolex Submariner. Later on, that particular watch became popular with Navy SEALs and the military. It was used mainly for diving expeditions and Vietnam War. But the Rolex kind of took the lead in popularity. They were just the watch. They were the ones that everybody wanted. And in the 1970s, during the quartz crisis, quartz watches were starting to become prevalent everywhere. It made no sense to have an automatic watch when you can get a quartz watch for one fraction of the cost and it tells better time. So Zodiac went through a handful of ownership and changes until in the mid to early 2000s, I think it was. The Fossil Group, based out of Texas here, they are the ones that acquired Zodiac. In fact, the Fossil Group owns a bunch of watch brands, but Zodiac is one of the ones that they own, and they resurrected a bunch of their watches, including the Seawolf, which is now extremely popular and people love the Seawolf. But I, of course, like different weird, stupid, kitschy stuff. I got a Zodiac watch, and it's not the Seawolf. It's something a little different. So let's say you're looking for a dressy watch to wear out and about, and you don't want to wear your typical round watch, right? You want a round face dial watch because what are you, a chump? Come on. And you don't want to wear a square face watch like this or a Cartier Santos because what are you, a freaking square? Are you a square? So you want something a little bit different, and how about the shape of a sea ray, huh? The Zodiac Olympos is the watch that we're talking about. That was a huge buildup to get to this watch. I know, but the Zodiac not the Seawolf, oh my lord. The Zodiac Olympos. The Olympos is the watch that we're talking about. I'm gonna give it the little Seiko shake right here, because that's really all it takes to kind of get the second hand going. I haven't worn it in a couple of days, but the Zodiac Olympos has that awesome shape of a Manta Ray. This came out in the 1960s. In fact, it came out like in 1961. It wasn't the most popular thing in the world, but it was fairly well known. Omega had their watches that were extremely popular in the 60s for dress watches. But the Olympos, this one is one of those cool watches that I think that a lot of people just don't know much about. It has a great profile. It has a great size. It just has a great presence altogether. I'm going to turn this camera lens around so that we can take a closer look at it. Well, here is the Zodiac Olympos in all of its cool semi-dress khaki glory. I specifically got this one. Number one, it was crazy discounted on shop premium outlets, so I got it for like less than 500 bucks. This watch retails for right around $1,000 from the Zodiac, but of course, hunt and you will find it cheaper. It is a stainless steel case back, sapphire dome crystal. It's an automatic movement with about 44 hours of power reserve with the STP-1-11 movement, which is based on a Sellita movement. It has stainless steel hands, stainless steel hour markers around the indices here, all around the dial. It has a little color of orange pop for the second hand, a date window at the 3 o'clock position, and there's nothing special about it. You can barely see that date in there. It's dropped down below, but it's still pretty well done. You have the Zodiac emblem right below the 12 o'clock position, and they have Zodiac, Olympus, and Automatic written on the dial. The only thing that is raised and applied like material is the Zodiac emblem and the hour markers. The rest of the stuff looks like it's just hand painted on there, which is not bad. And one of the features that I really like, I love, not to say like, one of the features that I love about this watch, other than the cool Manta Ray shape, is the stem and the crown at the 2 o'clock position. That is just so cool. I love that. You have the little stamping of the Zodiac logo right there on the crown. The supple leather strap. I guess the dial could be considered supple leather. It almost looks like leather. The supple leather strap, which is so soft that I feel that it might start to break down after a while. But I mean, it does feel high quality and it smells so good. If you had smell-o-vision, you could smell this leather strap. But anyways, you don't have smell-o-vision. The hardware is also stamped with the Zodiac logo. Stainless steel case back, again, water resistant to about 50 meters. So you can take away what you want from that information. I probably would not go swimming with it. I would probably just, wash my hands at dinner and maybe get a little bit wet if I'm running to my car in the rain or something like that. But I'd probably avoid taking this into the pool and getting chlorine water on this beautiful leather strap, or avoid taking it into the ocean. If you look closely here, and you look very closely, very, very closely and carefully, you can almost see on the dial the Zodiac crosshair and the quadrant feature on the dial. So the dial is split up into like little quadrants. I'm going to try to see if I can catch the light just right so you can see that. But if we catch the light in just the right way, you can see how there's a line going across here and the line going up and down. And the dial itself is broke up into 4 quadrants. And when the light catches it just right, it's so gorgeous. And then you also have that brushed look on the dial itself. So the dial itself is not just flat tan, it's almost as a radial brushed aluminum look on the dial, like a record, like an album, like an audio record. Yeah, all around, it's just an amazing watch. So much cool styling and cool stuff with it. I've had it for about a month or two, and I've worn it a handful of times, and it gets, people have asked questions about it. They're like, hey, what is that? Oh, it's a Zodiac Olympos. Oh, a Zodiac Olympos? I've never heard of that. Well, guess what? It was around for a while, back in the 1960s, and then it disappeared, and then it made its comeback, and now it's on my wrist. So 2018 is when they re-released it, and now you'll see it here. I'm going to just make this a little bit more comfortable because I don't like the way that it fits like that right there. Now it's more comfortable. Like my watch is just a little bit loose, that way I can kind of flex my wrist and not have to worry about it pulling too tight. But there you have it. Look at that. You're just sitting there talking to somebody, and it's just got a different look than your typical round case watch. It looks different. It's 37.5 millimeters at its thickest point, 45 millimeters from lug to lug, a 19 millimeter lug width, so that way you could put a stainless steel strap on it, a bracelet on it, and give it a little bit more of a dressy look. But for the most part, I like the way it looks just like this. It's just a great looking watch, right? Come on. So if you're wanting something different, you're wanting to go out and have a nice luncheon or a dinner with some friends, or go to a party and have something on your wrist that's a little bit different, doesn't break the bank. Of course, this is subjective, depending on who you are, what your budget is, what you're looking at. But if you want a watch that's probably going to last you for many years, that's an automatic that wears well, especially if you have a wrist that's not too big but yet not too small. You don't want something that sits up really high. This only sits up about 11.5 millimeters, so it's fairly thin on the thickness, and it has a great presence on your wrist, and it doesn't feel overpowering. It doesn't feel like when you're talking to somebody or you're sitting there talking to friends, it doesn't feel like your watch is commanding a whole lot of like, hey, look at me, look what I am. I'm a gigantic, huge watch, like the G-Shock Mudmaster, right? It doesn't have that to it. It's just a nice, understated, but yet watch with great presence. That's what matters. It's something that's different and cool, and I like it, so I don't really care, what everybody else thinks. It's what I like. I like watches that are a little bit different. Yes, I'm pretty basic when it comes to G-Shocks. I like all of them, but when it comes to dressy stuff, I like ones that are just slightly a little bit different. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you have any questions or if I missed something about this cool watch, please post those down below and I will answer all of your questions. Let me know if you have any comments as far as Zodiac brand in general. What do you think? Do you like them? Do you not like them? What would you like to see next? Let me know. I look forward to hearing from you folks, and thank you as always, and I'll catch you in the next video. Okay, bye.